How many times have you heard this? If they just worked harder, if they just made better choices. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Poverty, in our collective imagination, is often a personal failing, a lack of character, willpower, or intelligence. But what if I told you that's a myth, a convenient story that lets the real culprit off the hook? What if poverty isn't about bad people, but a bad system? A complex, interconnected machine designed not by some evil committee, but by history, policy, and profit generates poverty as a reliable output. Today, we're not talking about poor people, we're talking about poverty. And we're going to dissect the system. Think of the economy like a board game. Monopoly is a great analogy. Everyone starts with different amounts of money. But in our real-world game, not everyone even starts on the board. The system's foundation is historical, redlining which denied mortgages to black families, creating generational wealth gaps that never closed, colonial extraction that impoverished nations for centuries. The very design of our cities where highways were deliberately built through prosperous minority neighborhoods, destroying them. These weren't accidents. They were policy choices. They created a starting grid where some are miles ahead and others are starting 100 meters behind the start line. And then we're told, ready, set, go. May the best person win. It's not a race of merit. It's a race where the track itself is tilted. Okay, so the foundation is uneven, but the system has active mechanisms that keep people in the lane it assigned them. Let's look at 3 major gears in the machine. Gear 1, the debt trap. When you don't have capital, you can't get cheap credit. So, what do? You use high-interest credit cards, payday loans, and title loans. These aren't tools for building wealth. They're tools for survival that actively extract wealth. A single car repair can trigger a debt spiral that takes years to escape. The system profits from your desperation. Gear 2, the poverty tax. It's expensive to be poor. You can't afford bulk buying, so you pay more per unit. You can't afford a security deposit, so you rent week to week at a higher rate. You have a low balance bank account. Here's a hefty overdraft fee. You need cash fast. That check cashing place takes a significant cut. Your time is also taxed. You might work multiple jobs with unpredictable schedules, making it impossible to take a class, go to a meeting, or simply cook a healthy meal. The system drains your money and your time, the 2 resources you need most to change your situation. Gear 3, the policy feedback loop. Laws are made by people who, statistically, have never been poor, so policy often reinforces the system. Minimum wage not tied to inflation. Your buying power decreases. Zoning laws that forbid affordable housing. Rent stays high. Underfunded public schools in poor districts. The education gap widens, locking in the opportunity gap. It's a loop. Poverty leads to political powerlessness, which leads to policies that perpetuate poverty. This is the most insidious part. The system doesn't just work on you from the outside. It rewires you from the inside. It's called scarcity mindset. Researchers have shown that the mental load of poverty, the constant grinding focus on making ends meet, consumes enormous cognitive bandwidth. It's like having too many browser tabs open on your brain's computer. When all your mental energy is on immediate survival, you literally have less brain power for long-term planning, impulse control, and executive decision-making. The bad choices we judge are often the rational outcomes of a brain overwhelmed by scarcity. The system creates the very conditions that lead to the behaviors it then condemns. It's a psychological trap. You're not making poor decisions because you're incapable. You're making survival decisions because the system has overloaded your circuits. If poverty is a system, then personal charity, while kind, is just putting a band-aid on a broken leg. We need system-level solutions. We need to change the code of the game. 1. Break the debt traps. Advocate for usury laws. Support public banking options and promote financial cooperatives. 2. Reverse the poverty tax. Push for living wages, universal basic services, and ban predatory fees. 3. Reform the policy loop. Support housing first policies, invest equitably in education, and most importantly, get people who have lived experience of poverty into the rooms where decisions are made. This isn't about blaming any one person. It's about recognizing architecture. You don't get mad at a fish for drowning on land. You question who designed the environment. Shifting from seeing poverty as a personal problem to a systemic one is the most important first step. It moves us from judgment to analysis, from what's wrong with you to what's wrong with the rules. It means our energy goes not into judging individuals, but into redesigning systems, into building an economy where the floor isn't a trapdoor, but a stable foundation. Your call to action today is this. The next time you hear someone blame poverty on laziness or poor choices, explain one gear of the system. Share this video. Talk about the poverty tax, the bandwidth tax, the historical design. Change the narrative. Poverty is not a character flaw, it is a design flaw, and what is designed can be redesigned.